must follow the law. The law says...
Glorious. Is it a lawsuit? Probably. Why not?
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Buckle Up, It's the Law with attorney Larry Forman. Folks, today we are going to cover one of the most tyrannical cops that you have ever seen. And by the way, I just want to take this moment to let you know about something new that I'm going to be doing, and that is I want to feature your video on my channel. So if you have a video that you think is interesting, something that no one has ever seen, a wild arrest, an insane interaction with the police, or something else related to the law, government, or police interactions, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is in the description below. My socials are there as well. And let me know if you have a story with a video. If it doesn't have a video, unfortunately, I'm going to be unable to cover it. But if there is a video involved, I want to feature it on my channel. The crazier, the better. So, back to today's topic, folks. A tyrannical police officer, an absolute menace to society. We are going to go over, we're going to analyze it, and I will give you the legal pointers from the perspective of an attorney, as I always do. So without further ado, let's dive right in. I want to give a shout out to the civil rights lawyer, John Bryan. Thank you for providing this video to the world, my friend. It is insane. So what you're about to witness, folks, is somebody at the gas station makes a phone call to 911. The police arrive to a man who is doing absolutely nothing wrong. All he's doing is pumping gas at a gas station. Now, apparently he was holding the pump in such a way to possibly suggest it may be a firearm of some sort. It does not seem like it, but that is what the gas attendant claims. The police arrive with their guns drawn and approach the individual at the gas pump. Watch the interaction.
What do you have in your hand? Show me your hands.
His gun is drawn.
Okay. Stay in the car. Okay, turn around. Place your hands behind your back.
Have you or someone you love been injured as a result of someone else's negligence? Or worse, you lost a loved one because of it? I am attorney Larry Forman, and myself and my team of trial lawyers are ready to fight for you and get you the maximum compensation allowable under the law. We know the system. We know how to win anywhere in the United States, 24 hours a day. Call 1-844-774-HURT. That's 1-844-774-HURT. And let's get you every dollar you deserve. Dial that number and buckle up. Let's win this ride. Now remember, folks, the way an interaction with police works is that a police officer cannot simply approach you and place you under arrest like this officer has done. Understand that you have rights when you are out there in the field. You have a right to be free from unlawful search and seizure, which is the Fourth Amendment. The right against testifying against yourself, that is the Fifth Amendment. And the Sixth Amendment, you have a right to an attorney. So know your rights. Invoke your Fourth, Fifth, and Sixth Amendment if a police officer tries to have a non-consensual interaction with you. You see, officers on the street know that you do not know your rights, and that is why they abuse them. Some police officers don't even know your rights, so you have to teach them, inform them, remind them of your rights. What this officer is doing is completely unconstitutional. It is 100% a lawsuit. And I hope that this individual sues the police for their unlawful interaction. You see, in order for a police officer to stop you in the first place, they must have reasonable suspicion that criminal activity is afoot. That is something that is known as a Terry stop. Now, once they have ascertained that there is a reasonable suspicion to pull you over or to stop you or to begin an interaction with you. They cannot simply go ahead and arrest you. They must have something known as probable cause in order to arrest you. If they are lacking in probable cause and they arrest you anyway, that, my friends, is a violation of your civil rights and is a lawsuit and has money on the table. Let's keep watching this interaction and you'll see what I mean. Let's dissect it. Continue dissecting it together.
What are you doing?
I'm filling up gas can. What
You understand you're holding it like this, like it's a pistol, right?
No, I was showing her to cut the pump on.
Okay.
So the officer is wrongful in his assumption about what the gentleman was holding. He says, you understand that you were holding the gas pump basically resembling a pistol, which raised suspicion, which raised eyebrows, made me question what you're doing. But the officer's perception is irrelevant. The fact that his own subjective impressions of the situation do not go into the calculus that a court will look at this interaction between the civilian and the police officer. The courts look at something known as a reasonable police officer standard. If a reasonable police officer could perceive this interaction as dangerous, well, then the courts will side with the police. Qualified immunity aside. And once again, for those of you who may not know, qualified immunity is something that police officers enjoy when they are out in enforcing the laws on the street, and that is a veil that must be pierced because the law is going to presume that they are immune from prosecution, but it's not absolute immunity, such as prosecutors and judges enjoy when they're acting in their official capacity. This is known as qualified immunity, and qualified immunity can be pierced if an officer is acting outside the scope of not just their jurisdiction, but outside the scope of what a reasonable police officer would do. In my humble opinion, if I were a judge reviewing this case, I would say that the officer is not acting as a reasonable police officer. He is not acting as a reasonable police officer would under the circumstances, because the gentleman was holding a gas pump, simply trying to pump gas. And because the officer is not behaving in a manner that is reasonable, and one would expect a police officer to behave in, then the police officer's conduct is unlawful and the citizens' constitutional rights have officially been violated. Let's keep watching.
But that's not what it looks like to the motoring public on the roadway.
I was just showing her the thing to let her know to get the gas.
Do you have
bro.
your ID on you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I turn around?
Yeah,
and
that's
go
fine.
straight?
Now, with respect to identification, some state laws require you to identify yourself once you are no longer free to leave. That is known as a Terry stop, and that is what reasonable suspicion is required for a police officer to have in order to detain you. Again, if they are wrongfully detaining you, that is a violation of your constitutional rights. Some states require you to identify yourself or to provide some sort of identification in the event that you are no longer free to leave. So look up the laws in your jurisdiction, because laws do vary state by state.
But you understand you're holding it like this and it looks like a handgun, right?
No, I'm trying to let her know to pump the gas, bro.
Okay.
Why you? What the? You just pulled a gun out on me.
And you can understand the civilian's reaction is completely justified and natural. He just had a gun pulled on him. He is stressed. He is scared. He could have died. He could have been shot and killed. And that would have been a 100% unlawful killing, unjustified killing. These tyrants have killing powers over us. Do you understand? And sometimes an unreasonable officer having a mistaken belief about what you may or may not be harboring in your hands that may or may not look like a gun and may not be a gun whatsoever. It may simply be a gas pump, could lead to your death if you are not careful and if you don't know your rights. So be careful when you're out there on the street, folks. These tyrants are getting more and more out of control by the day. I can tell you from personal experience, police academies have been struggling for years to find cadets for the academies, as early as 2020 and as most recently as 2025. back in April when an article came out stating how difficult it is to find cadets for their department. So you see, the police officers that are currently roaming the streets are the bottom of the barrel. And no offense to them, I understand. If this is all you've got, this is all you've got. But this is what we're up against, folks. This is what we as citizens have to deal with. This is what we as citizens have to encounter every day on the street as we see police officers wrongfully pulling guns on people, having panic attacks in the middle of their shift as they're chasing suspects, having to quit due to anxiety, breaking laws, tasing citizenry as they are enjoying and laughing at the misery that the citizens have to encounter as a result of untrained, mistrained, poorly trained, or completely untrained officers. It is terrifying, folks. It is absolutely terrifying that this is the state of our country today, and something must be done. So folks, don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to continue providing educational content for you all. I want to try and educate everybody as best as possible on what to do and how to do in these interactions. So let me talk about the video that you just watched. The gentleman has done exactly what he was supposed to do. That was the best response to an unlawful interaction by law enforcement. The police officer had a gun pointed at the citizen. The citizen turned around and put his hands behind his back. That allowed him to at least diffuse the situation, de-escalate the situation with the police officer, and to make sure that he doesn't get shot and killed wrongfully by a police officer, or at least gravely injured by the police officer. Remember, folks, sometimes it's better to comply on the street and fight the case in court. So folks, with that, I'm going to leave you. Don't forget to send me your videos. Please let me know if you have a video that you want me to showcase on my channel and discuss the legal implications and or any possible lawsuits that you may or may not have, as well as your legal rights as we teach the Constitution to the American public. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.